Hi there, May Flom here, and what I've got here, this is a carte blanche wall decor base, vintage wall decor base from Prima Marketing. And I'm really excited about these because they're nice, super nice painted wood, which means a couple of things. Number one, they're fairly flat, which is good. There's a little bit of texture to them, obviously, because it's wood, but they're flat enough that they're going to be a lot of fun for a lot of different mixed media projects. And what I have right here is I went into my relics and I got a heart and the flames here, and I adhered these with PPA matte finish adhesive, let it totally dry. Then I took this new Prima stamp, and I just love this one for so many things. It's a Bible journaling stamp, but that's not my intent. That's not something I do. I had other ideas for it for Christmas, Easter, a lot of different things, just in general for crafting that I have. And this is one of my ideas. So I took archival ink and I did not mount this stamp. I just took it, placed it where I wanted, and pressed it down. And as you can see, I'm able, because this is an unmounted stamp, I can stamp a surface such as this that has a lot of texture to it very easily by just bending it. And it won't hurt your stamp whatsoever. And then I put it back on the cling backing and we're ready to roll. Now, I'm not sure how various mediums are going to stick or react to this. So my thought originally was to make this a lot of red and green, make it very Christmassy. So what I'm going to do to start with, I have the Prima Oil Pastels, which are a favorite of mine, and I'm doing two little spots here, just directly applying. The reason is, if this doesn't work, or if it doesn't turn out the way I'm hoping, that's okay. I'm not gonna ruin my project, it's gonna be just fine. Then come in here with my Prima water brush, and I'm gonna go to blend, and I'm gonna see what happens here on the surfaces. So far I'm looking pretty good. Just gonna go on here and see as well. I have not coated this with gesso or anything. Almost dry here, and I like what I see from the pastels. These are a medium that I've really grown to love, and what I'm liking with the pastels is I'm really liking that it's very well blended. It was very easy to blend on everything, and the areas that are dry should stay pretty nicely. I'm just doing a test here. I just wet my finger. Okay, so if I wet my finger, it is still reactive just ever so slightly. I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that's a problem because I do not intend to like be scrubbing this with stuff or doing anything super funky. I'm going to come in here again with the pastels and directly apply a little bit. This is a slick surface, these artifacts and relics, and that usually means I coat these with some gesso. However, I feel like it's going to work without that. So I'm just going to try here putting some pastels directly. But I'm also, just because of the way that this is and all that texture in there, if I want to have different colors, I'm going to need to get a little bit of plastic packaging and scrub some pastel on that plastic packaging and then pick it up with my water brush so that I can go in those cracks. As this dried, I blotted a little bit off, and a lot came off when I blotted. So that's something to note, that even because of the paint or the treating or whatever the surface is, it will mean that your oil pastels, and I'm going to go ahead and blanket this and say if you're using watercolors or other things that aren't permanent once they're dry, that you're going to have some reaction as well. Now, as I was looking at this, I thought, you know what? I really actually want to have more of a rainbow represented, so I'm actually totally okay with the fact that a lot of this rubbed off. I'm going to gently put a little pink on there as well. So I'm actually okay with the rubbed off areas there. I'm going to get a little blue in here, and maybe a little, no, I don't want the blue up there. Maybe a little blue down here and here. A little light blue. So just a little bit there, and then I've got this tilted up as you can see. So I'm going to start here at the top, and I'm going to do similar colors like I did before, so I can rinse out and start again. And I'm going to go blue to purple without worrying. But I'm interested to see, yep, see the colors are going to start pulling and pooling and dripping down. That's what I want them to do. I am just loving how this is turning out, but I do want a little more color in here. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to do one spot at a time. I'm not going to let there be multiple colors working in one area at a time. So I'm just going to come in like so. And we'll put a little green here and a little green here. And I do still have it tilted up because if it's going to dribble and drip, I want it to. I'm welcoming that. So I'm also just trying to kind of have a splotchy more. Actually, you know what? I don't think I want it to drip so much, at least not just yet. So I'm going back and forth on if I want it to drip down there or not. I'm going to go ahead and leave it. And if it does, it does. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. That's fine. And starting with the cobalt, I'm going to just try not to do too much. Now that's more than I would have liked. It sprayed up top where I didn't really want spray at all. So I'm going to come in here with some water and just kind of wet down that top. And what that should do, let's see. I'm hoping that it doesn't make the cobalt dominate everything. I'm hoping that it does just what you're seeing here, in that it'll just cause a lot of drips and another layer of color and kind of a randomness that I know it's really hard because a piece like this, I really want there to be a lot of random color interaction without looking like, and I'm just taking a paper towel and blotting, and I'll get you up a little higher there. I don't want a lot of color way up top here. Didn't mean to create. I'm going to dab this off. I don't really want a lot of mist on there. And that little blob is just a little too, if anybody's a little too hard of a blob, I'll just add just a little bit of water. And everything's going to do what it's going to do. And it's not where I want it exactly yet. And guys, kind of like life, you're going to make a mixed media piece like this, you're going to have to kind of roll with some stuff. So the next thing I'm going to roll with is a little bit of gold. And I'm going to flick the gold on. And yes, I'm keeping things tilted up for now because I really want a bunch of gold up in here. I really want it to just, what's going to happen is going to happen, and we're going to be cool with this. Now, everything is still wet, which means that the gold is joining the colors. The gold is splattering down in, going down. As you can see, it's like getting in the little rivers of color as it dries and drips, and oh, so much fun. And I'm going to give this like one more squirt of water just because I want to make sure my gold droplets, I don't want too many of them like hard gold droplets. I want them to have enough water that some of them run. Now that this has had a couple hours to dry, oh my goodness, you guys, I am just loving how it turned out. I'm turning it to flat here, and I'll scoot you guys down, although actually you guys can't quite see the whole thing. It's a little bigger than my video here is allowing. So the only thing you guys didn't see is I took a little bit of some pistachio colored spray and also some boysenberry color bloom and flicked a couple drops, just like you saw me do with the cobalt. And I did this just to add, I felt like the splatter was adding a lot here. And you can see as I tilt this towards the sun, how much detail and just color blending. Oh, you guys, I'm just loving this. So what I have right here is a Delicata ink pad. So it's a pigment gold ink pad. And I just want to tap it, and this will stay wet for a little bit, so I will be able to manipulate it. I'll actually be able to manipulate it with my water brush here. I just wanted to add more gold in here, and I thought that would be a good way to do that. So I am going to go in here on the area that I want to have be white, just right here. And I'm just kind of cleaning it off just a little bit, and then I'm going to take a paper towel and just lightly blot because I don't want to take tons of color away from other areas. And if the color is not settling in the areas where I want it to settle, I can just, I'm kind of drying off my water brush and coming in here, or if it's too much water, then by not squeezing the water brush but just kind of gently guiding the color around, I should be able to correct anything that needs correcting. The last thing I want to do, and all I'm going to do is pick up a little bit of the wet right there. Oh, and actually what I'm going to do, her face is still a little bit wet. So I'm going to hit this with a dry, I'm going to pick up a little bit of this red, and then I'm going to hit this with a dry tool until, and it's very easy to see because it is a really matte finish here. I'm just going to put a little red on her lips. Not a lot, just a little bit. And I'm going to hit this with the dry tool just so things don't run around, fly around. If you have any questions for me about this piece, about my work in general or crafting in general, you can feel free to leave me an email. I'm absolutely in love with this piece and how it turned out, and I'm really excited that I got to play with all this stuff together in this way and that it came out the way it did. I will be sharing photos of this, of course, on my blog, and down below you'll also find some key supplies. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I'll see you next time.